Hello and welcome to this issue of AIUTA TV, the online talk show of AIUTA, the International Association of the Universities of the Third Age. Today we are discussing the development of AIUTA and U3A movement in Africa with the president of AIUTA, Professor Francois Vellas. Hello, Professor Vellas.
Hello.
It's our pleasure to have you in the talk show. And the episode today has actually three main parts that we will introduce in the beginning, so our viewers will know what we will discuss further. The first thing is your recent visit in Nigeria, where you participated in the first national conference of U3A movement in Nigeria. The second part is the preparation for the World Senior Tourism Conference in Yantai, China. And third part is to present the exhibition that people from Italy and Belgium will prepare and exhibit during the conference in China, presenting important architectural landmarks that will be part of the conference. So let's start with the visit in Nigeria. It was an important event for the development of AIUTA, and this is part of the big process of spreading AIUTA movement around the world. But first of all, could you tell us some words about the history of U3A movement in Africa?
U3A movement in Africa is quite new. Africa is a new continent for developing university of third age. One of the first experience start some years ago with the former education Minister of Education of the Republic of Mauritius, Marmogon Pasuramen, that decided to set up a University of third age in the Republic of Mauritius. And this University of third age is very important because it is exactly what is the purpose of University of third age, that opened the university to a large number of seniors and to offer not only education class, but a way and somewhere for social activities for seniors. And this in this African Mauritius University innovate in some kind of education. And some of the innovation now are used in other parts of the world.
After Mauritius, which countries adopted the U3A movement?
At the same time as Mauritius, Senegal developed a network of University of third age with the president Sidi Camara. This network is called UNITRA, and it is in the whole country, and it is supporting by the public authorities and at the top level with the president of the Republic of Senegal. And when we had international national conference of University of third age Senegal, we had the president of Senegal, Macky Sall, receive the president of AIUTA and the president of UNITRA, and to explain them that Senegal want to be a leader in terms of U3A, and he is supporting a lot with the Prime Minister of Senegal, the U3A in Senegal.
What is your observation on the model that is used mostly in Africa? In our first episode, we discussed that exist basically three main models of U3As around the world. The European model, which is focused on the French experience, the French pilot project in Toulouse in 1973, the British model, which is also adopted by several English-speaking countries, and the Chinese model, which is presenting a state policy uniting all the U3As around the country. So which model is more more well spread.
Yes, the interest of Africa that perhaps it will be a fourth model, because Africa is a mixed between the first and the second model. The continental French model that is very linked with universities, and the British model that is more association or federation of association. In the case of Africa, there is a link with university, but we are not inside university, but there is a strong link. And as well in Africa, the initiative belongs from association, but associations that are quite official. So it is something new, and this is quite important for the development of U3A in the world, because we can see that with this mixed between link with university and associations that are linked with public authorities as well, that could be the way of development, because it's a way as well to get more support. I don't want to say financial support, but I want to say technical support to organize university of adage in Africa. And the visit that I did last week in Nigeria is one of the examples of this support.
Oh, good, very interesting. So let's focus our conversation on Nigeria and the first national conference of the U3As there. What exactly was organized? What happened in Nigeria, in Lagos?
It was a quite important event in Nigeria, because it was the first time that U3A for Nigeria organized a national conference. And this conference was attended by public and private bodies, but as well by the press. So it was the different newspaper, radio that came to this conference, because it is something quite new in Nigeria, University of Adage, and it is this national conference was as well a way to inform the population, because you know that Nigeria is the most important population in whole Africa, with 180 million inhabitants, and so it's important to reach this population, because there are more and more, it's a young population, but there are more and more aged people.
Yes, and I think it's very important to introduce the model of cooperation between people in U3As, because as far as I know, Nigeria is religiously and culturally divided country. There are a lot of people with different ethnicities, and there are many Muslims and many Christians. So maybe it will be very important for a country like Nigeria to create some good example of cooperation of people united by common values and common activities and interests.
Yes, exactly. This is a big job and big work that is doing Dr. Charles Afolabi, that is at the head of the network of Nigeria U3A, with his team to put Nigeria as a non-confessional and U3A for all people. Everybody can come, and it is really a place for education for all. But as well, Nigeria U3A developed some memory program. The second day of the conference, we went on a place not too far from Lagos, where there was the slaves for 3 centuries leaving Africa to Americas, and so it's very important that in the U3A we can work and visit this kind of memory site. And this is one of the objectives of Nigeria U3A. And as well, it's a way as well to develop a relation, a cultural relation, education relation between man and woman, and intergenerational.
I remember this place. It's called the place of no return, the slave place of no return,
Yes,
I think.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly. And actually, it is a combination of, it is close to the very wonderful beach as well, with an island. So it is as well cultural tourism to visit this memory place, not for only international visitor, but as well for Nigerian, because for Nigerian, it's important that the memory is still no.
Let's go again to the conference and the charter of AIUTA that you gave to Dr. Afolabi.
Yes, exactly. And as well, because this charter show what would be the future of U3A in for Nigeria. And as you see in some photo, there is the link with the tradition, because one of the king of Nigeria attend as well as a prestigious authority this conference.
Oh, it's very interesting, really, to know this. And Professor Vellas, what is your impression from the first conference? What is the future of the U3As in Nigeria? How
Yes.
the network of U3As in the country will develop in future? What do you think?
The future of U3A in Nigeria is very, very important, because if you look to consider Lagos, Lagos is nearly 30 million inhabitants. And so it's a movement that could be developed in the whole Nigeria, I mean in cities, and Nigeria can be an example, as it is already for Senegal, to develop U3A in other countries. And that would be, with the participation of Dr. Camara from Senegal, it is a first step to develop this kind of regional and pan-African cooperation.
And what is the future of this cooperation? How do you imagine, how do you envision the cooperation between the African nations in future in terms of
this is
education?
our goal. This is our goal on AIUTA. AIUTA, the International Association of University of Heritage, is a very important site to develop this cooperation in Africa. And I remember that I would like to say that we have in the governing board of AIUTA 3 African members, with representatives from Mauritius, Senegal, and Nigeria.
Hopefully, we will have more news and more important events in Africa. This is a very important way of cooperation. And hopefully, the map of Africa will become more and more rich of countries where U3A movement exists and develops. And let me ask you now about the forthcoming World Senior Tourism Conference in Yantai, China. It is one of the most important
this conference is linked with innovation between University of Heritage that can bring senior tourism on a new step. The Chinese initiative is the first one in the world to bring together seniors, professionals of tourism, and University of Heritage. And it will be in China, Yantai, with 3 main events. One will be International Conference on Senior Study Tour. Second will be meetings between University of Utrecht and professional of tourism and destination. And third will be a workshop on the setup of International Senior Tourism Association.
How developed is the senior tourism nowadays? And does tour operators or the creators of different services and products for the elderly, do they think about the needs, about the requirements of the elderly people related to tourism?
This is one of the points we shall work on in this Yantai conference, because we see that now there is a lot of senior tourism and more, but there is not a very good adaptation of the touristic product in regards of the requirement of senior tourism. So this conference, a part of the conference of the World Senior Tourism Congress, will focus on requirement from European senior, African senior, American senior, Asian senior, Middle East senior, in regards with the development of senior tourism. And from that, we hope, and it's very important for the firms, tourism firms, to be in better adequation with this requirement and the product they will propose and sell in the future.
I remember during last episode of AIUTA TV, when we broadcasted live from China, that Mr. Wong said something very important. He said that the aim of the World Senior Tourism Congress that he is involved in is to make elderly people happy.
Exactly.
And this focus on the needs and the preferences of the users, of the consumers, should be really very important in the senior tourism, because it's not only consumer service, it's something very social, it's something very human, it's about humanity, it's about something noble, something that is important for each society that elderly people live, to create opportunities for the elderly people, for the seniors, to feel happiness, to express their needs and to get their needs satisfied. And yeah,
exactly. This is why we shall have senior University of Utrecht coming from the 5 continents to explain to the audience what would be this requirement. And the objective is to improve the quality of the tourism product for seniors.
And one of the important things that elderly people, seniors, would like to see when they travel, alongside with the medical tourism, with gastronomy, with
and wellness as well.
And wellness, and generally speaking, it's about seeing a lot of things and have a very heterogeneous experience. And I haven't seen a senior who doesn't like to see historical or cultural landmarks, for example, beautiful architecture. So one of the important things that I know you're working on now is to collaborate in preparation of an exhibition about architectural landmarks from Italy and Belgium. So can we have more information about this?
Yes, I will ask our colleague, Stuart, to speak from his point of view, and after to Raphael from Italy.
Okay.
Stuart.
Hello.
Stuart, hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
My name is Georgi Stankov, and I'm the host of AIUTA TV. Could you tell us some words about your work and your project that you're preparing for the the forthcoming World Senior Tourism Conference in China?
Yes, well, we're very excited to design a site where the Congress will be held. And it's a 10-hectare site. It's a very strategic site on the Yantai waterfront. Yantai is a very modern city in China, which is a touristic city. But it's lucky that it already has a university of the third age there. And with the building of the Congress, or the holding of the Congress, and then to build a permanent building there, I think it's a very exciting project. As I said, it's a 10-hectare site on the waterfront, so quite a prestigious project. And we have an architect from Italy who is actually designing a concept to build this site.
And what do you expect to happen after that, actually?
Well, the Congress will be held there every year, so it's an opportunity to have a physical manifestation of this important meeting, and the fact that the Congress will be held, be the first Congress for senior tourism worldwide. So I think it's important to build a landmark development on the site. And of course, it can't be built overnight, but our challenge is to build something really of innovative architecture, a real landmark that will not only be good for the senior tourism, but I think for Yantai itself, it will also provide an iconic location for tourists to come. And at the moment, they have a waterfront which is quite attractive, but has not got anything outstanding. So we see this as an opportunity to create something really outstanding for the benefit of tourism in Yantai, as well as for the seniors.
It seems to be something very exciting. I'm actually really very interested in this and seeing this, and hopefully in our future episodes we will show maybe some sketches from your plan, hopefully.
Yeah, well, we have to finish it's quite a tight schedule, so we've just really started looking at the site, but Raphael, who you'll talk to shortly, has already got some sketches, some very rough sketches, which we have to clear with the client, of course. But by April, we should have some quite interesting things to show, and hopefully it'll be great to share that with you as well.
I write it down. Yes, it's important. Could you tell us some more details about the perimeters of your project in terms of material, in terms of style or architecture? Yeah.
Sorry, I suppose the architecture will be best done to that, but in terms of form, we want to create it's a very long site, and it goes between an existing pier, which is not really very exciting at the moment, a pier that goes out into the water. And then on the other side, there's a river, which will be a waterfront, a river with a waterfront park, river park as well. So the challenge is to link those two nodes. One is the pier and one is the river. The site is in between the two. So how to link the architecture, the design from the river that goes all the way up to the pier. So it won't be something which in China often they build one site and then they build another sected on different style. This will be quite connected between the river all the way into the Senior World Congress building and then out into the pier. So it'll be quite a holistic design. But probably Raphael will describe that better than me.
Thank you very much, Stuart. We will wait for the development of your project. Hopefully soon we will be able in April to show something more. It's really important to show people that this project is working and developing and becoming bigger and bigger. So can we have now Raphael?
Sure, I'll pass you over. Nice to speak to you.
Thanks. It was my pleasure.
Raphael, you have to come and talk to the gentleman.
Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you, Raphael.
Hi, nice to meet you. Do you speak English or Italian?
A little bit English and a lot of bit Italian, you know, especially in a non-verbal way.
Okay, don't worry. So,
Raphael.
yeah.
you're the architect about
yes, I'm an Italian architect with a very long experience in China, also in the Middle East with the Stuart. You spoke before with him. And now we are working on this very special site in Yantai, in a very beautiful landscape in front of the beach for the new. Please.
I have heard that it's hard to surprise Chinese nowadays with something very unique, because the Chinese economy is growing. They have a lot of big infrastructure and architectural projects.
Yes.
What is the special thing in your project? What is that can surprise?
Yes. I understood very well. This is a very, very strong discussion in architecture now in this last year. This problem between contemporary European Western architecture and the tradition of China. My idea is to be very close China and this culture, not close Western style. Of course, the technical things and the resolution are more closer Western, but I think the sense of the architecture can be the same of their very, very strong, very long time culture. So my idea is to give them a sense of protection, a sense of family forms and architecture for them, not foreign like archistars in Beijing or in Shanghai or in Hong Kong. I think they need to come back in the new vision, come back to their culture of more 1,000 years ago. So I'm working on the sense, on the symbol, on the iconic building in this area.
How you will connect your building with the landscape? We heard that there is a river, so
in the sense of my project is that the building is landscape. The building became landscape together with landscape with a very, very strong relation with the landscape. So before to design this building, I look a very long time around to keep something something who can become buildings. Very, very strong relation between things, not differences.
Yeah, I like this approach.
Yeah,
by the way, you might be familiar with the works of Christo, the visual artist Christo.
Yes, I know very well. Yeah,
he is born in Bulgaria.
Yes, I know.
2 years ago, he made a big project. His last project is in Italy. Yeah.
Yes, I know the lake. I know very well.
Yeah. So definitely different style, because he tries to make something that it's like the figure and the background. He always tries to separate them.
Yeah.
It's also interesting to unite make the things part of the landscape. I like this approach.
I think that approach is very, very interesting, because Christo apparently give a very very contemporary sculpture of his landing. But if you look in the deep way, you can understand that he is a traditional approach, because he kept the sense of the lake in that architectural landscape. So I think in the modern view, modern form, you can go back on the real reason of the works.
I mentioned Christo also because he's a senior person, and actually we work in benefit of the seniors, and AIUTA is dedicated to provide seniors with educational and social experience and services and products. So it's nice to have this good experience of a senior person who is actively working and producing something. So, Rafael, by April, we heard from Stuart that by April there is some development that could be shown, maybe in terms of photos.
Yes, why not?
So I would ask, if possible, to present the project in the ongoing project in our talk show, maybe in photos or sketches. It will be our privilege, really. We will appreciate very much if you agree to share with us. So thank you very much.
I am very happy to show you the final solution of my project. Also discussing about these very important words we spent now together. Okay.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks. Where are you now? In Bulgaria? Where?
I'm in Bulgaria, in the southern part of Bulgaria.
Oh, okay. Okay, thanks. Okay,
thanks very much.
Bye.
Have a nice time.
Thank you, Georgie, very much.
From the headquarters of AIUTA, we have Bilal, who is finishing this live episode, this live broadcast.
Yes.
So, Bilal, thank you very much for being with us, for ensuring the technical support.
Thank you for the organization, and we hope we organize the next AIUTA TV on the South America, next one.
Hopefully, and to all our viewers, stay with us and watch our future and past episodes. AIUTA TV, the online talk show of the International Association of the Universities of the Third Age. Stay with us. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.